Oh, Josh. Josh, wake up. Josh, something happened. Josh. 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 Josh, wake up. Oh my God. Oh.
Call 911.
Nice job, Mark. Another one. Another one looks like it's going to be. Do you see what was on the floor?
I did. Cell phone.
Texting, whether they're texting, whether they're on the phone. This is what, 3?
3 in the past week.
My daughter's older than yours, but look at this.
Every day.
It's senseless.
Yes, it is.
I'm not saying that's what happened, but it looks in this situation with phones out like that.
Texting and driving, it's not safe.
Terrible. There's no way to keep track of everything.
No.
It's terrible. It's a shame. Plus everything else that was in danger here.
Yes, we had a lot of bystanders. Ended up having to bring a helicopter in.
And
it's very unsafe.
I mean, for someone, that's a family that's torn apart. That kid had to be what, in his teens?
16, 17. Real young.
For a phone call.
Yep.
We grew up without phones.
Yes, it's not worth it.
Terrible. It really is too bad.
For me, I was actually in the car, and to actually be in it, I never want to be in that, and I never want to put anybody into that scenario. It was realistic. Yeah, they were really doing it.
It surprised me how long it actually took to get everything done. Like, some people were asking, you know, does it really take this long? And he said it did, so that surprised me.
Honestly, I've texted before and driven, and the more you do it, the more confident you get in it, and then every once in a while you'll find yourself, you're drifting off. It doesn't matter how good you are driving. You're not thinking about it because you get comfortable with it. You start texting, the next thing you know, you're off the side of the road. All it takes is one wrong move, and you just hurt somebody else that wasn't doing anything wrong, and it's on your shoulders.
Yeah. The thing with me was just learning all the little things, like remembering to wear a seatbelt, not texting, not calling, just little things like that is what you got to make sure you follow those little things, and that really helps.
In case there is somebody that don't know me or I don't know them, my name is Paul Knoll. I'm a National Registered Paramedic. I've been actively practicing in emergency medicine for the past 26 years. So I hope that my experiences can bring to light to you folks today on the dangers of some of the things that we do that we don't even think of the consequences of. First and foremost, texting and driving. A recent study has shown that texting while driving is actually more dangerous than driving while intoxicated. When a driver texts while driving, his reaction time will decrease by 35%. So think about that. 35% quicker to avoid an accident if you're paying attention as opposed to trying to text while driving. When texting, steering capability goes down by a tremendous 91%. Drivers are also 6 times as likely to get into a car accident while dialing a number into their cell phone. So, well, I don't text and drive, but I pick up my phone and I talk and drive. I'm not distracted. Sure, you're distracted. For that brief moment that you picked up the phone and entered a number and took your eye off of the road. This recklessness of texting and driving has caused numerous car accidents and death-related incidents in the driving age group of ages 16 to 20. This next item on the agenda is something that's not just isolated to teenagers, and that's the use of seatbelts. So many people feel invincible enough that where they feel they can drive up and down the road without the use of the seatbelt. When you're not wearing a seatbelt, your body in reality becomes a projectile whenever you're involved in an accident. So you might be sitting comfortably in your vehicle. You become a projectile in the vehicle and it suddenly stops. And as far as the adults go, or those that are soon to be adults, we have no problem restraining our infants or children in a car seat. So let's not orphan our children due to a poor decision by not wearing a seatbelt. It was on a sunny Sunday afternoon. I was in my early 20s, and like most people that age that were living on their own, I was on my mom's house, on my way to my mom's house to get her to do my laundry. So I'm on a narrow country road outside of Collinsville, and a small car flew past me on a blind corner on a double yellow line narrow country road. I continued up the road about another half a mile, and all I see is just dust. And it's at the top of a hill that we always referred to as S-curve hill because it was very steep, very hilly, and very windy. And at the very top of that hill was a hairpin turn, 90-degree turn. What happened to this young man is the turn went to the left. He got off to the side of the road, just barely, and the loose shell and gravel caused his car to slide sideways. When he compensated and steered the other way, it took the back end come back onto the roadway. And whenever the back wheels hit the asphalt, it grabbed and flipped the car. He was not wearing a seatbelt. He was partially ejected out of that vehicle. And the corner of the roof had come down and actually literally drug his head and neck along the asphalt. I got there seconds after it happened. And so, of course, I had a radio with me. I immediately radioed for help. There was a passenger who had jumped out and was okay. I went around to the side. I don't remember his last name, but his name was Michael. He was 19 years old. And the only thing that I remember seeing, I'm actually still a rookie at this point. I seen an arterial bleed coming out of his neck. His carotid artery was completely severed. Immediately I knew that this young man was not going to survive this accident. But at the present time, he still happened to be conscious and alert, staring up at me saying, "Please don't let me die." I was scared. I didn't know what to do except for the fact as I leaned down, he was still partially entrapped in the vehicle from his waist down. The only thing that I could think of to do was just to make sure that this young man didn't see the severity of his own injury. So I put my hand over his neck. The blood was running down my arm, but he could not see it. Before he lost consciousness and passed away, he looked up at me and told me that he was recently married and his wife was pregnant. So be very, very careful about not wearing a seatbelt. One thing I can tell you after 26 years of working in emergency medicine, I have never cut a seatbelt off of a dead person.